Hey friends, thanks for joining me, Jim Baroud, to hear a few insights from leaders who represent our innovation ecosystem. Today's chat is with Tero Ojanpera, global tech and business leader and former CTO of Nokia, as well as the author of Platform Strategy, How to Transform Your Business with AI, Platforms, and Human Intelligence. Tero, thanks for joining us today. We really look forward to this important conversation about AI. So talk to us about your impressive and long journey as a tech leader, as an entrepreneur, and as an investor.
Thank you. It's great to be here. So my background is it has been always in the intersection of technology, creativity, and business. And I started my career at Nokia. Worked there for a long time with the cell phone. I saw the rise and the fall, and was there as a CTO and Chief Strategy Officer. After that, I've been working as a private investor into startups in various kinds, in a bigger corporate boards in different sectors. And also 4 years ago, I co-founded an AI company called Silo.AI. Silo.AI is an expert AI company. We work with clients. We are around 200 persons, 100 PhDs in computer vision and NLP, natural language processing, machine learning. And then I'm also a professor, part-time professor of practice at Aalto University in Finland on intelligent platforms. That is a strategy and platform economy.
Fantastic. That's an amazing background. And we met when you were at Nokia.
Right, yeah.
14, 15, 16 years ago, 15 or 16 years ago.
It's a long time and you still look the same.
As do you. So you have seen everything in tech. So that's why it's really good to be connected with you and hear your insights, particularly about AI. Really, we hear so much about AI, and there's fear, there's excitement, there's confusion. And so tell us about your latest initiative, your book.
Yeah, thanks. AI is I always try to demystify it because there is nothing sort of that difficult in the AI, because AI is actually something that where you give an examples, like you showcase your different capabilities to children, they learn and they grow with that. The AI is kind of the same. It needs to be given examples, and that examples it's given in the form of data, and it learns from it, and then it can recognize the similar situation. But the book is about what we call intelligent platforms, and it's about how modern companies organize themselves. And there are like 3 winning traits that they have. One is network effect, that the more participants there are in the platform, the more valuable it is, and every participant is creating value for others. I love my Tesla tree, and especially spinning it in Finland, in Lapland, in the snow. But how is that related to platform? Is that every time I drive Tesla and I encounter a new situation, it will collect the data and it will send back to the headquarters, and they train the self-driving AI algorithms with that data. So every Tesla driver is creating data that benefits also other Tesla drivers, and that's where there is the power of the platforms. And that's the network effect. The second one is AI-based learning loop, the learning loop we call it. And that means that you are constantly improving your algorithms with new data. Like Tesla wasn't the best self-driving car when it entered the market, but it has the largest fleet where it collects the data. In this way, it can improve very fast, and it becomes better and better. And the last one is, I call the human intelligence part, that the algorithms are kind of stupid. They do what they are told to do, but humans can think about new applications for algorithms. And for example, Tesla, it's not an electrical vehicle company. It's not a self-driving company. It has actually moved beyond that because it entered the home energy systems. You can buy now Tesla Powerwall. You can buy a Tesla solar roof for your house. And in this way, they leverage their platform capabilities, the battery skills, the AI analytics and design capabilities into totally new sector. So while the other car manufacturers are still competing, either the electric vehicle game or the self-driving game. So basically, modern companies are connecting these three winning trades together. They have the network effect, they have the AI-based learning loop, and they are using the human creativity to leverage the capabilities to never-ending new sectors that they can conquer. So Tesla is basically, they are leveraging these three winning trades. They have the network effect. Every driver is creating data for other drivers. They have the AI-based learning loop where they are using the data to become better and better. And then they are using human creativity to look at new sectors, like they went for after the energy sector. They might be going after some other sectors. Think about Amazon. They keep on expanding their influence, and they are not focused on the original mission. They actually have much larger mission to conquer the world, and that's the characteristics of the new strategy. It is kind of industry sector transcending strategy where you go after sector, leveraging the capabilities that you created through the initial tight focus. So there are three winning traits of an intelligent platforms. One is the network effect, like Tesla. When I start driving my Tesla, I create data that they will use to teach their self-driving software to become better and better, and that applies for every other Tesla driver. So everybody is adding value to the network. They have this AI-powered learning loop where they are constantly improving not only the self-driving software, but also other parts of the car. It's a platform that keeps on improving. And then they have a human intelligence part where you basically use human creativity to leverage your capabilities into new sectors. Like they went after the energy sector, creating a Tesla Powerwall and then a Tesla solar roof. But also, if you look at the other picture here, you have the John Deere, maybe not the first platform company you think, but they already 10 years ago, they realized that we need to connect these tractors and other equipment into the cloud. We collect the data, we open up that with APIs, and that helps actually software developers, application developers to create applications for our customers, that is farmers, and the farmers will improve or that will help them to do better farming, improve their productivity, and that happens also through AI. So AI can predict, for example, crop yields, other things, etc. So in this way, they keep on improving the platform. The more tractors they sell, the more data there will be, more application developers are interested about the platform, the better it becomes for farmers who will buy then more equipment. And that enables them to move into the new services and transforming the business model for selling equipment into selling services and data. So that's the power of the platforms. And maybe about summarizing that with this slide, that there are like 7 steps for companies to evolve towards the intelligent platform that we outlined in our book. And especially when you think about incumbents that are trying to figure out that how to change their business model, you need to start from the turning your fear into energy. How long it took for other car vendors, OEMs, to realize that this is not anymore a gas engine game. This is a totally new game, and they are trying to sort of come over that fear that we need to move the new direction and then turn that into energy. You need to focus on things that help customers to sort of to do things easier. It wasn't that hard to order a taxi, but Uber made it easy, transparent, and you know that you are not cheated because everything is visible through the data. And then you start with the focus. You think about like iPhone. I was at Nokia, we had 50 phones. Apple had only 1 phone. They were focused because that was the dawn of the new era. The platform game started with iPhone. Tesla didn't introduce 10 cars. They introduced 1 car targeted for high-end consumers, environmentally conscious, and in this way they entered the market. So you always think about that, what can I do to actually simplify things to really catch the first wave of the enthusiastic fans who are building the community, and then you start to expand from there. And the expansion is happening through AI because you are learning faster than the incumbents. And then I call this that you open up with the algorithmic handshake. You don't need to go to negotiate things. You just open up the APIs, you leverage your data to other companies, they innovate on top of your platform, and things happen automatically. And that leads then to the unexpected, that you jump into a new fields, like Amazon went from the e-commerce, they created the cloud, they went to the AI, Alexa, and just when everybody thought that everything is going to be online, they went and bought Whole Foods, a grocery store, but it wasn't a sort of the random expansion. It was well thought expansion to their platform, where they took their loyalty program, logistic capabilities, and data, and in this way they are able to drive more value. And that goes on with the Amazon Go, the cashierless stores, where they can collect more data and expand their platform capabilities. So creating the unexpected. And then the last one I may be most sort of excited about, because organizing around AI will mean that basically you can steer individual members of your organization with AI. Like Uber is, of course, organizing all the drivers through AI, optimizing their routes, etc. But think about also more creative works like architecture or anything like that. They can be helped by AI to design better. AI can see the individual sort of the user there, but the AI can also see the whole company, everything that is happening. It can see the patterns. So in that way, the organizational structures are not needed anymore, because AI will take care of that part. Traditionally, organizations are there because you need to part things into smaller pieces so that humans can comprehend what are they doing. It used to be that you have 10 persons and then you have the superior and etc. etc. Now AI can replace the middle management, and it can help the companies to evolve. So in that sense, I can see that AI is leading to limitless organizations, fluent organizational structures. So we are just getting started here.
This is fascinating, Tero. This really is. So let's talk about Tesla first. So I keep thinking about you spinning around in the sand, not the sand, the snow, right? And is that feedback loop, is that going to influence the ability for you to spin out in the future, or will they get smarter, change the algorithm, and make it so you can't do that?
Yeah, it's a good point that basically, if you look at driving from the safety point of view, of course, the AI will eliminate all of that. You don't spin around. You basically are going like a train there in the road, and it will adapt into the new situation. And currently, it's hard with Tesla to drive when there is a snow on the roads, but it will become better and better. And it will also finally manage the minus 30 Celsius and icy road in Finland. But there's also this other part that maybe if I pay some extra, I could buy an algorithm that will spin my Tesla around in a very nice fashion, and I don't need to do anything. So in the old days, it used to be the skill of the driver who was spinning around, and you were cheered by your teenage sort of the friends if you did that. But now you could buy an algorithm that will do that and does it very safely. It's a little bit like you can buy now 1 second improvement to the acceleration of, instead of the 3.6 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, you can do it 2.6 seconds, and it will cost you 2,000 euros. That was maybe a couple of years ago when Tesla introduced that feature. So it will be interesting to see that whether this kind of a safety versus the entertaining value and the customer experience, how they will play around, but AI will enable both directions.
So then Tesla is a great example for you to use, to sort of outline, the new reality, the new paradigm shift. Amazon as well. Any other companies that really highlight, how leaders have been able to use AI to transform their models. And you could take down this this loop, this slide.
So, all right. So other companies that are more traditional that are leveraging AI, that I really like a company called Hilti. Hilti is from Liechtenstein and best known for the nail guns. It is a power tool manufacturer, or was, and already some 20 years ago, it started to transform itself. That it originally sold these power tools like the drilling machines, nail guns to its customers as a products. Then it moved to manage them through its software. It created like a tool management software, and it leased the products. So the customer didn't need to buy them, and they took care of all the management. But lately they have moved forward with AI. So every equipment is tagged with RFID. So they follow how they are being used. They collect the data, and they use that data to predict the tool usage. So if you have a large building site and you need a tool set for that, they will basically have the data to create you a tooling plan, and they bring the equipment when you need them, they take them away and manage the whole process on your behalf. But maybe more interestingly, going into a little bit into the future, is that they recently announced collaboration with Boston Dynamics, where they have this Spot robot. And Spot robot is moving around in the construction site and constantly sort of filming it through the camera. So that documents the site, but it also creates data for AI. So you can start in the future spot faults through that material. So the computer vision can identify what's happening there. If the construction engineer or builder made a mistake, it will correct, and maybe the Spot robot will come and knock you on the shoulder and, okay, maybe you need to fix that part. We'll see where it goes, but it's interesting how they are taking the cutting edge capabilities of AI, machine learning, and computer vision into a next level. And their target is to improve the productivity of the customers, that is the construction companies, rather than selling products that like they used to do.
And that's really fascinating, the amount of added value, right, to a contractor or to a builder from a gun tool company, right? That is a great example, it seems, of how they've been able to transform and sort of leverage AI and technology, right,
Exactly.
into a platform business, right? I mean, I think that's really special. So going back to cars, which I'm a fan of, as you are. First of all, the batteries in the cold weather, do you have less range in Finland with Teslas or EVs?
Yeah, we do have a little bit less range during the winter. Like the variation in my case, if I think about it, maybe 20%, 10-20%, because the battery lasts longer during the summertime, so you can see the difference.
So I hate to get into predictions, but what's your prediction as the competition increases against Tesla with all the incumbent manufacturers, European, Japanese, Korean, even Chinese, and here domestic in the States? What are you seeing? What are you impressed with? What are you worried about?
I think one of the challenges with the traditional car companies is that then can they overcome this product mindset, because they are so used to sort of that we create a product, we ship it out, and then we basically forget it. Of course, there is an after sales and things like that, but they didn't think about them as an upgradable sort of the software platforms. Will the car companies suffer the same fate as what happened to Nokia and other cell phone manufacturers? That basically what happened is that there was one vertically integrated company, iPhone, that is Apple doing iPhone, where they are basically doing everything from chips to software to hardware to the design. And then there is another company, Google, through Android, they are powering all the other cell phone manufacturers. Tesla is the vertically integrated company where they do everything from hardware to software to the design and control the whole value chain. And then the other companies are still trying to figure out, should they take the platform from Microsoft? Should they take it from Android? Should they build something on their own? For example, German automotive companies went and acquired the company here, the mapping company from Nokia, in order to integrate that to their platform. But I'm not sure that we are seeing the progress that one would expect from that one. And when it comes to the car operating system, it's hard when you are continuously trying to kind of flip-flop with your strategy. We are building some of our own. We are working with Microsoft, we are working with Google, etc. So we'll see where it goes, but it's so hard to change culture. If you are used to produce tens of models, shipping them out, ship and forget, maybe do some after sales, that you would have a platform out there that you collect data, you improve them every day and create customer value after you have actually shipped the car. It's huge change, but you can do it if you sort of start thinking differently and you maybe take a step backwards and say that let's create a one focused approach, and we do like this native platforms like Facebook, Google, etc. We first focus, like Facebook started with the one university, not with the full platform. One university students, they expanded from there. Same with Google, same with Apple, etc. So there is an opportunity, but it takes tremendous sort of the force from the management to make that change.
Which company or companies do you think are well or have been saying the right things and may be able to make that huge transformative shift?
I already mentioned earlier, John Deere is a great example of a traditional company that is well on the way. And I really love it's developed with Deere. It's not maybe comparable to Apple's developer program, but it's very specialized targeted program for developers. It has been ongoing already for more than 10 years. So you need to be consistent. The other one is it's from Finland, Kone. It's one of there are two leading companies, the world and escalator. So everyday product we use, but they are shifting their platform. So they open up APIs, and there are like example of delivery robots that if they need to move around in a high-rise building, so they can call an API, through an API call an elevator, move to another floor. Kone is also selling sort of the automatic doors. They can open the doors. So it enables the robots to move around and deliver goods, which is, of course, in the COVID era, very important. But also through these APIs, as simple information as an escalator direction can be communicated. There is a company called, or app called Blind Square, that is basically you for blind or people with problems with the eyesight. Blind Square delivers you instructions to your ears, basically. Go left, there is an obstacle, next the road is turning right. But inside the building, it can tell you, it calls to an API, and it basically tells you that, hey, the escalator right is going up, the escalator left is going down, or there are 5 escalators in front of you, 2 of them are going up on the right. So very practical information that is enabled by API that third parties can use. And also Kone is thinking about AI well beyond that. They are collecting data about how people are moving. So they don't think about themselves as a escalator company. They are thinking about themselves as a people flow company. How do we help people and the goods move around in buildings in a more efficient way, and powering them with APIs, with data, and improving things through that.
That's really interesting, Tero. Now, what about, let's go back to the car companies. From the car companies, you know, whom are you optimistic about specifically, or Are they all in the same boat essentially?
No, I think there are. It's hard to say anything specific, but of course, I'm from Europe. I need to cheer for European companies. So we have seen positive signs in Germany that they have a long tradition. They are moving to the right direction. But it's so hard when you think about that. I have 50 models that I launch every year. When I want to launch an EV, I'm not thinking about one model. I think I need to build one great car, create a platform, and start from there.
Tell me how the book has been received.
So the book is now out for a couple of weeks. We have gotten quite good feedback. First, I think it was great to see that some of the reviewers that were industry leaders, like CEO of Breitling, the watch company, that is also a very interesting one because they are transforming themselves as a true platform thinking, and a number of others were enthusiastic about the practical approach. That there are a lot of platform books that are describing how these platforms work, etc. But the question is that how to move forward. What are the practical steps? What should the leader do? And that's where the 7 steps that we outline in the book are helpful. And then also because I wrote it together with Professor Timo Vuori, who is an academic in the Aalto University, and we kind of combined my industry experience with his theoretical perspective, and everything that we write is founded in the theories, and it's not just something that we came up randomly. So there are examples. There is based on the theory, practical case studies. So also some academics for example, from Harvard gave us a quite good reviews. But it's early days, so we are waiting for the first sales numbers and how it is going to be. But I see this as a starting point to preach the kind of this topic that there's so much need for this transformative thinking. And we are already planning, for example, a course in the Aalto University for master students based on the book and the thoughts where we are basically bringing it more into the academic context.
That's great. That's great. Now, what about on a macro level? There's a lot of fear out there about AI. Should we be fearful of it? And I guess there's geopolitical concerns too about China and AI, or other countries sort of leveraging AI for negative purposes or for war, or So can you talk to that?
Yeah, there is AI, and also the platforms are being feared because there's like different stakeholders. If you think about employees, mainly they are worried about that, will the AI take away their jobs? Will they be automated away, etc. I think also if the AI is used by employees, the question is that, can you trust AI? What was behind its decisions? If it predicts that the things will break down, do I trust and believe that? Then the managers are fearing AI because it's calling into question their conventional judgment. As a manager, I know what happens in the company, and AI might be actually bringing you data that questions your wisdom. So that actually touches even your identity. Who are you? And then when it comes to the platforms, kind of if you think about that, instead of having everything controlled by you need to rely on the third parties, then that's also something that the managers are afraid. Think about even Steve Jobs. He was originally afraid of opening up the platform when we talk about App Store. And when he opened up, then of course we all know what happened. But this is really the key, that you see the opportunities, but there is a lot of fear that we need to overcome.
Got it. And what about there's been concern about bias with AI and algorithms. How do you view that?
Bias is very important topic, and AI ethics is definitely trending as a discussion topic and something companies need to address. And we talk about AI explainability, that AI needs to be transparent. We need to understand how it is deciding, how it was trained, and it all comes back to the data. So if there is an AI algorithm in the company, we need to understand that how it was trained, was the data unbiased, and how we can improve it. Because very often the data is a result of the human action. And if your recruitment practices were biased, I think the key point is there that if you train with that data, your AI to select employees that qualify for jobs, then that algorithm will be biased. But if you understand that, you can actually remove the bias, improve your practices, etc. So every company should create practices and have a kind of policy around AI ethics. How do they make sure that their algorithms are developed in a way that stands any scrutiny?
Got it. Got it. Now, what about countries? Are some countries further ahead, and are regions further ahead than others? And is that cause for concern?
We have basically three different approaches here. In Asia, it has been the government has a different approach. There is more like government have access to a lot of data. In US, it's a little bit more like free for all, market driven. And Europe is very regulator driven. That, for example, when it comes to personal data, Europe went for this privacy legislation that is giving a lot of control to the end user about their data. And in some ways, the purpose was good, but because it's implemented in a different ways in different European Union countries, it also causing a lot of headaches for companies that how to really make products that are for the larger market. So I'm not saying which one is right, but I think definitely there are a lot of questions and people are asking about this matters. How is my data treated, where it is stored, how it is used, etc. And at the same time, companies need to be more cautious about here and improve their practices, because regulators are starting to basically go after money here. You might be imposed penalties that are monetary, and it can be quite costly if you make mistakes.
Got it. So as we wind down here, Tero, share with us just one thing we should all know about AI.
I think the key point about AI is that we are very much overestimating its impact in the short term, and we are underestimating impact in the long term. And it applies generally into technology, but I think with AI's capability to implement the learning loop, that it accelerates its learning the more it is being used. I think there it's a slow start, it will accelerate and increase exponentially. So that's why I'm so excited about the future, that where we are going, that we will see completely different applications, AI, new organizational structures where AI is controlling, but also helping us in our work, and it's going to be a great future.
Great. Sounds that's I'm glad you ended on a positive note, Tero. That's good to hear. Now, leave us with a poem or quote, and then we'll be on our way.
Absolutely. So I have here a book written by my friend Dave Stewart, who is maybe best known as from Eurythmics. It's called Business Playground. And there was a quote in this book, or saying by Stuart Brown, who is an author, has studied play histories of 6,000 adults, and he's saying that playfulness is a vital ingredient of creativity, and one that is often at odds with the serious environment of the business world. And why I picked up this saying is that I think I come back to the three winning traits, that you have the network effect, you have the AI-based learning loop, and then you have the human intelligence and creativity, that you need to think beyond current industry structures, beyond current limits, and open up your mind. And by playing around, it's the best way of doing it. And I think we can see it in our children. So let's apply that also in the business.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tero. This has been great. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please like it, leave a review, and subscribe. See you soon.